everybody, it's me, Sugar Song, as always, and today is another time-lapse video of pixel art, and guess who it is? That's right, it's Zelda! Let's get started, shall we? As we're getting started here, I already preset where I wanted to place Zelda. I'm just hoping and praying that I put it in the right spot. Like in Link, I use a lot of the same blocks for her shoes and her face. And with all my time-lapse videos, every time I go into the menu screen, that's just me counting out. And here in a little bit, you'll see me change the magenta stained clay into the dark blue color. I think it looks a lot better that way. I also decided to make all the white into the snow. I thought that made it look a lot better for her whole dress as well. Here in a moment, you'll see me get disconnected and I reconnect pretty quickly. That happens to me a couple times in this build. I don't know why that happens to me. It's my own server, so it shouldn't be happening to me. But it does add to the time period of all the builds that it happens in. Her little interesting thing that she has in the middle here was probably by far the hardest part to put in there, because I kept on having the numbers not come out right. But eventually, I do try to get it semi-right, or a little bit shorter, or a little bit longer than it was, just so I can get it done. But I think it still turned out really well. And if you just saw there for a second, my sticky keys kind of went off and haywire. If you've never played Minecraft before, you probably don't even know what sticky keys are. They're just the most annoying thing on the face of the planet, and anytime that I go down, it likes to activate, so that's what that was. I feel like Zelda is a little bit harder for me, since the picture I had was a little bit more grainy. You might see somebody else in the background here. That's just one of my friends on my server. Don't mind them. They just came over to see what I was doing. They wanted to know if I needed help or not, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm doing this for a YouTube video. And they're like, okay, I'm gonna go build over here. It's like, alright, you go do that. Sorry if it seems a little bit faster than last time. I did make this a little bit faster time-lapse video, since that Zelda took a lot longer to make. Like I said earlier, this is probably by far the hardest spot, because I just was having a tough time looking at the grainy picture to get everything in its right spot, with all the shading in that area was just messed up and just looked really weird, so I tried to make it as close as possible in this area. Now I'm working on the other side of her dress. I was finally done with the middle part, and I was happy that I was finally done with that because it just took forever. Now I'm filling in all the whites. Of course, I used the World Edit to fill in the bigger gaps, so I didn't have to spend so much time filling in just blocks. Also, I'll come back later and fill in light areas and shading. Right here, as you can kind of see, I'm using the quartz blocks to do the light hints that you're going to see in the dress, and I'll use white wool for the dark areas. With all the white hints, I kind of had to guesstimate where they were going to be. So you'll see me take out one of the white hints that I did earlier and then reposition it to where it should have been. As you probably saw there, I'm doing the same idea for the hand that I did in the dress, and then I'm going to add the Triforce of Wisdom like she always has in her hand here. Here in a little bit, you'll see me put down some light purple blocks that look really off. I will change it later to the light purple wool and the magenta wool that you see here. That'll be when I'm doing touch-ups at the end. I went over to Link quick to get some of the blocks I used for his face, so I would make sure I use the same blocks in Zelda. Right here, I'm doing one of the shoulder gold pieces that she has. This was one of the weirdest spots for me because there were so many weird different colors and I was like trying to get them in the right spots. I knew right away that I wanted to use the wood for her hair. I thought that it would look really nice and texturized compared to all the other blocks I was using. Right here you actually see me starting on the crown, and I believe the crown was probably the hardest part for me to get done. It was just so difficult to make sure that I'm building only the crown and not her hair, because I was going to work the hair around that. Also, like, making sure that all the blocks were in the right position. As you saw me come back into the world there for a second, that was actually me coming in for day 2. So yes, I just got most of her done on day 1. I thought the middle part of her dress was really hard, but to be honest, the face was probably by far the hardest bit. Like I said before, with the crown there and trying to get the face in the right position and the eyes and everything, it was just the most difficult part of the whole build. If you're wondering what that light color block I'm using for her face, it's actually sand. Now, for the people that don't play Minecraft, you don't know that sand actually falls when you place it. So if you don't place it right, it'll fall into a position that you don't want it to go, or you need to place another block on top of it. So, that's why her face was so hard, because it did have a lot of sand to it to get the right coloring. as I get the materials for her hair, it's oak wood, dark oak wood, and spruce wood. Also, a little bit of jungle wood for extra highlights. I also have black wool in there, and for her crown, to make sure that it would be a little bit different, I used brown stained clay. That way you could tell the difference between her hair and her crown. I didn't want to make them too similar. In her hair here, I did play around with like the highlights and the lowlights because of the fact that the picture was so grainy that I kind of had to judge where I wanted to put them myself. And right here, I'm just kind of doing the braids in her hair that she has and the little trinket that she has at the bottom here. Now I'm just going in for the extra detailing that I said I was going to do earlier. I'm just over checking every little bit that I had to do here at the end. Overall, I had a really fun time building Zelda. Alright, Zelda is finally done, and I love how she turned out. It was really hard compared to the other ones that you've seen me already create. Of course, you didn't watch me create Link, but he was hard too. Zelda took 5 hours, 28 minutes, and 19 seconds to complete. For me, it took me 2 days because, of course, I couldn't do it consistently. I think it turned out really good. I think she's positioned wonderfully. She looks like she is ready to go and battle with Link like she does in some of the Zelda games. If you have any suggestions on pixel art that you would like me to build for you, leave them in the comments below and I will definitely check them out. Also, follow me on my new Twitter page. I had to go and use my personal one because the other one I had set for all of you wasn't letting me back in there. So, unfortunately, I had to go with my personal Twitter page to allow you guys to know when things are being uploaded or whatever. So, follow me on there. Should be great. I'll make sure I post when I'm posting things, like this, for example, and the other time-lapse videos or anything that I'm going to be posting on YouTube will be there. So, follow me on Twitter to know when that's going to be out or when it's up or whatever, or just random crap that I might put on there. I'm going to be using it from now on. I haven't used it for ages, but other than that, I think everything framed out wonderfully from the last video to this video. And if you notice, I did change the colors of the gem down here because it is supposed to be emerald, and I just changed out the color to actually be emeralds in here. So like in Minecraft, there's actually emeralds. So that's what that is emerald block. And I think it turned out way better than what I originally had it. But of course, you know, I already did the time-lapse video and the time still stays as it is. And I'm sure eventually I'll see another flaw and need to go and fix it, but that will be for another later date. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Of course, leave comments below and like this video. Let me know that you want to see more like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody!